So it's essentially about planning and preparing for assessment, working very much with the competency standard and understanding how to break it down, what all the sections are, and the importance of reviewing that document before any assessment takes place. So it's critical for participants to, as they may be training or assessing outside their area of expertise, that particular document is going to indicate to them their methods of assessment and critical linkages to other units, the context of the assessment, any particular resources that they might need to have with them in order to assess appropriately. So it's going to give them all of the details that they need to make sure that they cover essential criteria and assess to that standard. So it takes away the guessing, if you like, so it gives you some very clear guidelines about what you need to do and what you need to assess and how you need to assess. It will also help with the planning of the assessment. It gives suggestions with regards to RPL, the matrices that might be needed to check documentation. It also helps with when actually conducting the assessment, so it'll give the assessor tips on what they need to focus on when they're conducting assessment, and also evaluation, so that when they've finished the assessment, necessary documents that they need to complete, where those documents need to go, and then reviewing and evaluating their own performance so that they can have a continuous improvement into their next assessment that they conduct.
The rules of evidence is the thing that we can decision to make adjustment to pass the candidates, like pass competent and not just competent. It must be valid, it must be sufficient, must be authentic and current. The types of evidence, there are five types. We have direct evidence, indirect evidence, and supplementary evidence. For direct evidence is the first-hand evidence that we get. We can observe ourselves as the assessor. And then indirect evidence is we can observe as well, but we can get from like an assessment, work project, role plays, we can observe. We have observation checklist. And for supplement evidence is we get from the others. For example, we can get some third party or some, the friends or the colleagues of the candidates, that they can show the evidence that the candidates have the ability or the experience or, the special skills, yes.
The role play is the critical one. There's various activities that we go through from the activities booklet. And they're all very important so that the participants have the opportunity to look at things like RPL and the assessment matrix to help them understand the documents that they need to fill in as part of their evaluation. So the activities are important and in that respect. The role play is the biggest part because it actually brings all of the elements together. So they go from welcoming the guest or welcoming the participant in to conducting the assessment, meeting all the requirements as far as paperwork is concerned, checking documents, checking any relevant experience, and then following through to giving a C or an NYC to the participant and then indicating if they're not yet competent, what they would then need to do as far as additional training so that they can become competent. So it doesn't always finish up with a positive result. So there are very many occasions where we do need to give an NYC for various different reasons, but it's important that the participant walks out of the assessment understanding exactly what they need to follow up on and when they'll get their next opportunity to be reassessed.